There are so many videos out there that talk about how important it is to be intentional, because being so intentional is going to bring you this life that you want. A life that lights you up. But sometimes you can be too intentional, where it's backfiring on you and it's taking away from living your unique human life. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I personally am learning how to balance being intentional with staying my unique, healthy human self, because it is a dance, because you can get a lot of momentum on this intentional journey, and it's possible to lose yourself, so you got to be careful. I literally, in most of my videos, if you've watched any of my videos, I talk about how important it is to be intentional, because being intentional has literally gotten me where I am today. I came from having a lot of nothing and making really poor decisions. I was 37, got sober, I didn't have my own personal home. I was living with my grandpa and a friend before that. And I just really was at a ground zero, and I had to pick myself up. I had to choose to pick myself up and put one foot in front of the other on a more intentional path, because I wasn't living intentionally. And so, I just hit 2 years sober 5 days ago, maybe a week ago. And I've achieved so much on this journey. However, I'm finding I'm losing time to do things that are just simple hobbies of mine, healthy habits, because I'm being so intentional on all these goals I want to achieve. And there's not enough time in the day to achieve them all either, because I literally work a full-time job. So nature is such a great place to reset, regroup. Let's go. Everybody starts from a ground zero when you're living an intentional life. You probably weren't always living an intentional life, because it's a choice. So whether you came from just unsatisfying circumstances or unfulfilling circumstances, or maybe you're just trying to take control of the direction of your life more, and or potential outcomes you can achieve. So yeah, my ground zero was basically no money, no home. And I had to start showing up for myself, proving to myself that I could keep promises to myself. There's no one down here. I usually have really planned things I want to say, messages, but I'm trying to be more organic. I'm trying to just let what's inside me come out. I've been doing a great job finding my voice since 2025, early 2025, when I tried a YouTube channel that did not go anywhere, and I stopped after 10 videos, but I wasn't even talking in those videos. They were basically just artistic.
Learning to balance, learning to be in the struggle, I find the real me. More, more, more.
I'm just trying to like speak from the heart more, and I know it'll take practice to get more comfortable with it. So ground zero is starting from scratch on your journey. And at that point, it really is just about showing up for yourself. So making little goals like, I'm going to tune in with myself at X time each day, or I'm gonna try to eat better, or I'm gonna try to spend more time with my family, or I'm gonna try to exercise, or dabble in a hobby. So that's the beginning. And once you start seeing your success in those areas, because it's just like going to the gym, you're putting the reps in. It's uncomfortable at first because you're not used to dedicating time to nurturing yourself and valuing yourself if you've been a little like distracted in circumstances that had become normal for you, but you kind of recognized you were no longer growing in. So now you're trying to be more intentional. So you're getting comfortable seeing you be successful in these new habits.
The judges were particularly impressed with your ability to act to a Roomba.
Yeah, also this was the first project I've ever been a lead in, so it was interesting. About 2 scenes in, I was like, I'm noticing I have no time to practice my lines. Like, do I ever get a break? And they were like, no.
It excites you, it gives you momentum, and you're like, okay, what are we doing next? And you just start building on that and building on that. For me, I ultimately worked on saving a bunch of money, deciding where I wanted to get a home, which for me was in 18 hours away from where I lived. I'm gonna get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom on the beach. This is a lofty goal for a gal with no money who's never left the state that she's lived in basically her whole life. So after so much strategizing and patience and persistence, I achieved my dream of getting my apartment 20 minutes from the beach. As I just turned 39, I'm feeling so pulled towards a life where I can fully express myself and experience some fulfillment in how I spend my days versus the job that's sucking 10 hours out of every day. And I just got like a little bit left to like be a human. So I've been like trying to figure that out. How do I escape? You have to pay attention to what lights you up. This lights me up. I like being creative. It helps me, it's a creative, healthy outlet for me. I was feeling like my message for you needed to be so precise, so impactful, so effective, efficient because your time is valuable. So I would spend so much time on like exactly what words I was gonna say and delivering them with precision. But I've reached a point where I'm like, wait, that's not sustainable. Like, I have no time to go to the gym because I'm spending so much time preparing for my YouTube videos. Also, I would like to be a reader and I have no time for reading. Tell me in the comments if you have found yourself either being successful at balancing your goals, how you've been successful in balancing your goals with like being a human, having a personal life, like how are you doing it? Watching this YouTube video recently and somebody was saying, be a tourist in your own town. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally need to do that because I just moved here and there's so much I haven't explored. So I need to be a tourist in my own town. I love that. And just, the other day, I came here with no camera and just a notepad to like, so I went to a different part of the beach I've never been to, and then I brought a notepad so I could just like see if anything came up, because we spend so much time like being in our phones or being intentional. That's another thing. We don't allow space to like see what within us wants to emerge organically. If you've been on an intentional journey for a while, you've certainly learned a lot, and your inner self probably has some things it wants to say, wants to let you know, wants to give you some credit for. There's some wisdom that you've earned. So yeah, I came out here and it was so nice. I was not on my phone. I just had paper and pen, and I was sitting by the water, and I was like, I need to do this once a week. I totally encourage being intentional with your life versus not, because that's how you get anywhere is that you want to get, is by choosing that direction and being proactive on that path. However, I would see space in my like week, and I would think, oh, I got to fill that space. Sometimes you can just rest, like just stay steady. Don't overexert yourself. Ground yourself and then build steadily. So it's just trying to find that balance of like, yes, goals are important. Don't lose yourself in your goals. Essentially, I am practicing allowing myself to be in flow more and speak freely. It is totally uncomfortable for me, but it is totally, I feel called to do it. I can tell that it's healthier for me, and I will never learn how to do it if I don't start, if I don't get out of my comfort zone and do it. I'm learning the importance of slowing down and breathing and appreciating the little things and trusting the process more. Hey, almost forgot to mention, I created a free alignment check-in worksheet. Link is in the description. Check it out. Sometimes you just have to let yourself explore. All right. Have a good one, guys. See you on the next one.